But it's there now because it's not physical, it's time-based. It's
so,
going back in time.
I feel like
guys,
so
we're fucking with time travel.
Yeah,
therefore, it's not going to make sense.
There's a reason.
No matter what angle we hit it at, it's not going to make sense.
I feel like it's a fake titty or fake booty.
Don't rule it out.
It's not real. It's
I
like
think
it's
it's
real,
a theory,
but it's not
but like
real.
to me, like it doesn't make sense.
To me, that's my best bet because to me, it could make perfect sense in the sense of the Mind Stone having a conscience. It understands it was broken.
Yeah, and I can
so
see
now
it being...
so now its mind is fragile.
I think we would know if they went into, I brought up before, Wong, if he was like, oh yeah, I got brought back from the dead with the time stone, and it's kind of fucked me up since then.
Here's the thing.
Then we would have more answers. But he's
chilling.
cool with it always.
Well, we don't know that just because we don't focus on one.
difference.
We're not gonna know that until Doctor Strange.
He was joking about a tuna melt. Like,
dog.
So
what was he eating before? He didn't have no tuna melts. He was cool. So
like, that's why, because if it was like, if he had brought it back together using the power of the object, I can see that. But it's literally putting this object back in time to before it was broken. It's not repiecing it. It's literally, that's just the effect that they make it of reversing. It was never broken. That's what it's doing. That's what the time going back in time is. It was never broken ever.
All right, now
that object in its own temporal space.
Feel me on this.
Never broken.
All right, so we got the multi-universe in all Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Fuck with me on this one.
Okay.
If what the Time Stone actually did with the Mind Stone was take another alternate universe Mind Stone and bring it in.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I feel that could also cause the difference because it's not the same army of stones. But you got a different set of stones fucking with it, so it's like you got 5 out of the 6. And the 6th one doesn't belong. It's like if you bring somebody else into the chain that's not me. It's like, all right, you're here. We can talk.
Yeah, like we can get it popping, but it's all possible, you know. I mean,
that's just a theory. I'm like, I want to go with the fracture thing.
Yeah.
But now I'm trying to rack my brain and try and figure out another alternative theory that is plausible.
The gauntlet wasn't strong enough.
That wasn't strong. I think the gauntlet was just such an
Walmart.
Like you can't. You got to put in perspective. 50% of the entire universe. That's almost impossible to even think something strong enough.
But hear me out. You have this troll who, without his hands, created Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker is strong enough. Yeah, right. I said troll. Dwarf. Yeah. Stormbreaker is strong enough just to be thrown and combat the full might of the.
But also with his hands, he made Mjolnir and it was crushed by.
Yeah, and it was
right. But to me, that's different. To me, he didn't make Mjolnir to be. He wasn't like, oh, this hammer is going to be the strongest weapon to ever exist in all of time.
And it was.
I mean,
well, Mjolnir. Hold up,
because it was made to be strong.
Well, it was made to be a conduit of Thor's god power. So I'll fuck with you on that.
Yeah, it was only made to sustain the power input that Odin can provide.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll give you that.
Hela crushed it, which means she surpassed that power. Which means now the dwarves are like, okay, well now we just got to do a little more. But that's when they make Stormbreaker.
That's where
because with all due respect, I don't think Mjolnir could have done to the gauntlet what Stormbreaker did. When he was like, back up, Thor, and threw all 6 gem power at him, Stormbreaker's like, fuck all that.
Yeah,
and just went right into
what's it called? Stormbreaker straight up is made like, this was made for a king. That's what he says.
On top of the fact,
which means theoretically,
it control the Bifrost, which is hella power.
Theoretically, it should be on the same level. Like it should be stronger than Mjolnir. That's literally
absolutely no. That's what I'm going with. But it's just the progression. You can keep making stronger and stronger. They understand the Infinity Gems. Now, they know, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
But remember, no one's ever brought them together.
Absolutely, which is why I can completely agree with your theory. There's so many theories that go around this, but
Battery and Bill could do it.
That's a completely different Stormbreaker.
I feel like they would have to do another Thor movie if they're gonna end.
Well, this is a completely different Stormbreaker. This is not the same Stormbreaker. I feel like they could do Better Ray Bill.
They could, but
absolutely.
But this is not that same Stormbreaker at all.
But okay, let's just go over the reactions from you, McWhoopie. We had everything Mike wanted to get off, or everything Smizzy wanted to get off his chest.
Wow, that was all just like reaction to Mike's.
Yeah, it's just everything he felt. So now, the same thing goes for you, bro. You're watching Infinity War. Thanos snaps his fingers. You should have aimed for the head. And disappears. Half the universe.
He should have aimed for the head. You know,
I feel like he was so far and so angry, he just chucked.
Well, I wasn't expecting he said it a couple times. You know, if he just kill half the people, we could flourish. Half the people. I didn't expect him to actually literally do just like half the people when he snapped his finger. He said, boom, half the people gone.
Right.
And that when people started fading away, I was like, all right, so is it half of humans gone or half of human-like creatures? And then Groot, he faded away.
Yeah,
I'm like,
so
all right, half of everything,
half of life.
all kinds of aliens, trees, and not obviously trees, but things, whatever.
All
Groot is, all those kind of, all Starbucks, half of Starbucks. Half of Starbucks goes, all the half employees, only the black ones though.
Starbucks erasure. I'm joking.
I'm not.
So I was actually pretty satisfied because had it just been like all human-like things, I kind of would have had a problem with it. Because, like, they've shown like with Thor Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy, there's all kinds of different creatures out there that have all kinds of different physiological makeups and all that stuff, and it's nice. And the fact that knowing that half of them are going to, it brings a real finality to the whole thing. It really makes it feel like he achieved his goal. Like they're not telling me he achieved his goal. Like I saw it.
Exactly. They don't have to say it.
Exactly.
You can feel that from the movie. But I definitely go with you on that. And you notice that when both Drax and Mantis also fade.
Yeah.
Because they're aliens. They're not humans.
Nope.
Drax, I can't remember what Drax is, but he's something
he's a Drax.
Completely. He's a Drax.
Depends on what you're looking at.
He's a Drax. He's a Draxy Drax.
Because in the comics, at some point he was like made.
Well, no, I actually heard he was made the whole time. He was designed to kill Thanos.
But like sometimes I don't know how recently.
True.
Yeah, at one point he was normal, like a human.
Yeah, he was a human straight up.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah, he was straight.
Okay.
But other times he's like, oh, he's an alien.
Right.
But,
so
anyway,
the movie ends, the credits roll, and fuck it, even the post-credit scene comes up, and then that rolls, and then the movie's over, the lights go on. What is the first thought that you have coming out of that movie?
I gotta pee. But after that,
in regards to the movie,
after that, when I think about the whole movie, people fade away, Spider-Man had his sad scene, choked everyone up,
which was improvised, which still fucks me up.
And Thanos sat down, did exactly what he said he was going to do. He's going to watch the sunset, and he's smiling, he's feeling good about himself. He don't got no Gamora, which I think he could just make with the Reality Stone. He could just make another Gamora.
Essentially, he could, because that's what happened in the comics. He created like a new wife because he was just done with death.
But I understand why the MCU won't do that. But that's just something I thought about.
Right. Just options.
But I went into the movie initially. I was thinking, all right, let's sit down for this Marvel movie. Everyone's like, yo, you're gonna be so fucked up, and I was like, I doubt it, because it's like a Marvel movie. It's great. They're all great. They're all fun. But it's just a Marvel. They have their themes. They have their structures. They've been pretty predictable thus far. We brought up Black Panther. Killmonger had a real good point. It's the first character of all the Marvel movies where I was initially on the villain side, and then he went all villain.
He did that whole.
I'm gonna burn it all.
Yeah. He got really, really mean.
Yeah,
so,
just very evil.
I don't like you anymore.
He just went Adam's for.
Yeah, pretty much.
Honestly,
he wanted to do
on all types of Wakanda.
And then it opened up all the that big hopeful scene from the end of Ragnarok where this is Asgard. Everyone's at Asgard on this ship. They're all everyone's dead. You're dead. Everyone's dead.
I cried a little bit.
They killed him first. God damn it!
And I was like, oh my god.
When I saw the dead people, all I could remember was that like last scene in the movie where they're all looking out, so hopeful. I'm like, oh,
Asgard lives.
There you go. And
no, it doesn't.
And it doesn't. It didn't. It didn't at all. It never got where it was going.
Half of it lives.
No, they're all dead.
No, I don't think anyone is. Well, it's interesting to me.
Because
I do think some people got away because he says half of Asgard.
Well, there are survivors because beginning it's a literal call like half of us some of us escaped.
Oh really? Okay, I actually forgot about that.
That's when the Guardians.
Yeah, that's
what they got a quarter of them now.
That's what brought them into the thing.
Yeah.
What's the thing? They only got like a quarter of the people now. That's fucked up.
And we brought it in not that many people.
We brought it up before earlier in the discussion with the Hulk.
Right.
And I thought back where Loki's like, I got an army, and Tony's like, we got a Hulk. I'm like, yeah, y'all got a Hulk.
And the Hulk goes in there and starts wrecking.
And the Hulk runs in with Thanos like, let's get ready for this fight. Obviously it's early in the movie. The Hulk might get beat, but they're going to scrap. Thanos is going to acknowledge his power. But no, he just gives him like a whole 10-piece McNugget, and then lets him just. I'm gonna kill you. Everyone here is gone. And then Heimdall, does his
Bifrost.
Yeah, his last Bifrost before he's killed. And that was it. That was the scene. I'm like, Hulk ran in there, did nothing, changed nothing, and everyone still died.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's usually the trump card of these Marvel movies is,
absolutely.
You know,
the big powerhouse.
Or the Hulk or Thor jumps in and saves the day.
Yeah.
Granted, Thor ended up doing that near the end.
Kind of.
But he had to get broke. He had to get broke down.
He protected them from the outsiders, but he couldn't really protect them from Thanos.
But you know, they were getting
heading in for the head.
And then Thor came in and said,
right, absolutely.
But it was then I was like, yo, this ain't your typical Marvel movie.
Absolutely not.
And I didn't see. Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to agree with you. In the beginning is where I first noticed that. When he had Loki in his palm, crushing his esophagus. I'm looking and I'm like, Loki's gonna teleport. He's gonna disappear. They're not gonna kill Loki like that. If they do kill Loki, they'll like throw him out of the ship or something, and then he'll be like, oh, okay, he's back. He's Loki. I'm the god of mischief. Haha. Take that. No. He was like, you will never be a god. And then he was like, crush, and you hear it. And I said, wait a minute, there's kids in this audience.
Yeah, you felt it.
And then what killed me worse was they showed him from the waist down by Thor's thing. And I'm like, okay, they're not going to show him. Thanos drops him in front of Thor, blood coming out of his eyes, his ears, and his mouth. And I was like, okay.
Check this out. But he didn't turn blue yet. He didn't turn back to being the Frost Giant. That's the thing that did piss me off.
I don't know if he'll turn back.
Well, he's a Frost Giant. He needs to be blue.
I understand this, but I don't think he'll ever go back to being blue. I think
that was back to being blue.
Something Odin did to permanently make him.
Fuck that. He's a Smurf.
Hey man.
Odin's dead. Loki's dead. He needs to be a blue dead Smurf.
But definitely
the Hulk thing.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the moment where I was like, how are they gonna be him? Like
honestly,
immediately, I was immediately like, because
that was my expectation.
It wasn't just like a fight.
Right.
Like I was expecting Hulk to do more. Like don't get me wrong, from the gate I was like, Hulk isn't beating Thanos in this movie.
What did Ebony Maw say?
He said, "Let him have his fun."
When he said that, I said, "Wait a minute, who?" I said, "Who?" And then, I said, "Hold on, this is the Hulk. Who have their fun?"
Because at first I like just kind of like rolled my eyes. So I was like, "Hulk's here. What is Hulk gonna bring to the table?" Hulk didn't bring nothing to the table. He stole from the table that Thanos put the dinner on,
and never came back. And never came back to the house.
Like behind the like, get in there, get out, and then send that nigga home, yo. Like,
and you know what killed him, yo? Like, what killed me was Heimdall's efforts were almost in vain. Because
the Hulk, don't get it twisted.
The Hulk was never
100%.
The Hulk never resurfaced.
Heimdall could have saved like Thor a lot faster.
I mean,
it was over.
He should have saved Thor instead of.
Theoretically, you think so?
See, this is my thing though.
But
I was better than that he didn't save them both.
He knew Thor was probably going to live.
One shot to
Well, I figured the fucking beam would just hit both of them.
You can only teleport one person at a time.
Hear me out though. Like from Heimdall's point of view, because I fucks with Idris Elba heavy. He's a great actor, and I like Heimdall because it's Heimdall. He's Heimdall.
Yeah,
anyway,
right.
Fucking, he's laying there. You see what's, and this goes back to me with the overconfidence thing. He's seeing Thanos playing with his food. He's got Thor all locked up. You know he ain't going nowhere. They're going to let him live. He already knows about Asgardian gods. He knows about Thor's powers. He knows this nigga can survive with fucking nothing out in space.
Yeah, out in space. Okay, good point.
So Banner, knowing what Banner is, knowing that he's got Thor, and he's got the Hulk. The Hulk could die, potentially.
Right.
Nobody knows what happens. Well, we know, but nobody knows what happens to the Hulk in space. So I understand why he saved Banner, because now, you just turned back into a little naked white man.
Yeah.
You ain't getting raped by a fucking purple grimace. This is bad luck. He gonna make McNuggets out of your ass. So I'd save him, yes.
Yeah, it's like
you knew he was
it's like saving a child.
So I'm actually gonna interject real quick because I actually cannot agree with that.
What?
My only issue with that argument is Heimdall has only seen Banner as the Hulk. In no part of Thor Ragnarok did he see him as Banner, unless you count his conversation with Thor through his eyes.
There was also the scene where Banner jumped from the ship and then the space plane onto the Rainbow Bridge.
That's what I was about to.
That might be the only
what I mean by that is he doesn't know the significance of Banner aside from the fact that he can go Hulk.
Yeah.
Well,
so my issue is you're saving the Hulk in a hope. Just from what I've seen, that he can Hulk out again and maybe fight with more people.
Well, this is maybe just to get the word out. Thanos is coming.
But he already saw
that means more like hell. I'm relying on that.
Which is why I can't rely on what you were saying because he's never seen Banner as the scientist. He's never understood what Banner is capable of with his intelligence. Well, so I can't see him saying, he's Banner, he's real smart, he'll figure out a plan, send him off. I can see what you're saying about spreading the word.
More so in like Ragnarok, he was just saving people. Right. Whoever's alive.
Right.
On top of the fact, he talks, he's best friend, well not best friends, but he's damn great friends with Thor. So I know they've talked.
Right.
He knows if Thor fucks with Banner, Banner's good. So I think at nothing else, you already know everybody's dead. They killed Valkyrie. Yeah, they're just killing bitches left and right. I would save anybody I could if I was confident
by the director.
Oh, did it?
Valkyrie,
I do
Valkyrie did get out somehow.
She probably led one of her. Yeah. Honestly, her and Thor probably led the rebellion.
Yeah.
Or the survivors.
Yeah, exactly.
But
they needed someone.
Wait a minute, wasn't she laying there on the ground?
No, you got to remember there were other people in similar armor, not the same armor.
No, I thought it was her face.
I didn't see her.
I remember her face because I didn't have some nights where I was like, ooh.
All right.
I'm thinking it was her face. So.
Yeah.
Well, so real quick, let's take a break from the beginning and end and talk about some of like the key moments in the movie that took you by surprise.
Scotland, I was there.
I'll start because
we'll get to that. I'll go with Jam Shake first. What was one of your biggest moments in it? And you can't use Thor. And you can't use Hawk and Loki, and you can't use Thanos winning.
Mine is kind of overall, because before the movie came out, I was kind of afraid of the tone.
Absolutely.
And how they're going to do comedy.
Yep.
And honestly, I was fine with like 100%.
Yeah, I fully agree.
I was fine. Like they really.
Was there a favorite moment comedy scene?
I think the one that got me the most was probably either Drax.
Absolutely.
The one where he's like, shoot, like that, or the one where he was like, where Star-Lord's like, I'm gonna commit. Like that. I thought that was funny. And I was like, wow.
I'll honestly say that piggybacking off what you're saying, my two favorite were Drax definitely.
Yeah.
Because he was like, look at my movement.
Yeah,
and then she was like, hi, Drax. He's like, damn it. And then he walked off. But then,
that's funny. I like that.
Another one with Drax, but it's not so much Drax. It was Drax talking about how, they just do what they want. And then Tony was just like,
yeah, and he was like, it was like the take ass, eat.
Oh, yeah. He was like, we take ass and serve names or something like that.
Like serve names and
kick names and take ass.
Yeah,
and then Tony was, and he was like, right. And then Tony was just like,
like all the comedy was so good. Like I was never like, it was never at the point where they were like, they're not. I don't believe they're in this situation.
Absolutely.
No, like that little like thing right there. Tony was like, yo, we in some shit, and y'all are really joking.
Like this is what I got.
It was the most like I swear to fucking God moment ever.
Like, he was like, yo. I'm gonna move on. Like he's not even gonna bring that up.
Like knowing Tony, I'm sure he acknowledges like Peter's intelligence, but understanding. My thing is, he probably came to the realization that aside from Doc Strange, Peter is the only intelligence he can talk to.
Like, you also gotta remember, like before Tony knew what was happening, he was joking too.
Yeah,
he was like, oh,
yeah, absolutely.
We gotta figure out a plan.
When it got real,
we're fucked.
Which usually Tony doesn't realize it's real until a lot later.
Yeah. But Tony
absolutely. But it goes in tandem with his character development.
It's all
me and Patient actually talked about this for a while. We talked about the difference between the character development in the characters of the MCU. We talked about Thor. Thor was not he was loved. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely one of the not the Trinity of the MCU in Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. And I'll stand by that forever. If you argue a different character,
Steve
by
Rogers
all
is
means.
a bitch.
Who else could you argue for?
Some people argue Scarlet Johansson, Black Widow. Some people argue the Hulk.
Nah, I don't always.
I'll forever not like.
I mean, the Hulk.
My problem with the Hulk is they don't have any continuity with the Hulk movies.
Kind of issue.
Exactly, and they have no continuity. They try to put his arcs into other movies, which is fine, but then you can't count him as like the big three.
You also can't focus on him as much.
Absolutely. Now, my thing was, and I can kind of throw Captain America in there too, just because he's been in so many movies and he's such a popular character. Their character development will span longer than Thor's. Thor's character development you can put in 3 movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And it works.
Because Thor's
and you also had Avengers 1 and 2 where he was also going through things. He's like the whole Avengers 2, he's kind of coming to the realization of being like not so much worthy again, but in a sense being worthy again because he's looking at Vision picking up Mjolnir and he's like, whoa,
Like what it means to be worthy.
Even Captain America, like Jiggle.
Yeah, and then he was like nervous. So he goes to that dream realm where he's talking to Heimdall, and he's trying to figure himself out, and then boom, he comes back stronger. He rolls up in there wrecking a bunch of Ultron robots. Cool, that adds to his character development. Great. Then you have Ragnarok, where he comes, well, both me and Patient agreed he came full circle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, now he's grown. He's lost his father.
He lost his hair.
He lost his hair. he lost his hammer. And the hammer was his biggest crutch. He's like, I might not be strong, but this hammer's going to fuck you up. Wham! And she's like, fuck that. And then he's just like, just a baby throughout the rest of the movie until he found himself, until he found his power. So we were talking about that. But
that was a big one too.
I talk about the Trinity because I'm talking about how the character development with Thor was fast, but it was right. The character development with Iron Man, going along with what you guys were saying about he's always funny and then he gets serious, it's gradually changed. Because in Iron Man 1, 2, and I can argue 3 up until the end, he was insanely cocky. He's like, yo, I am Iron Man. I just came back from war. I should have died. I'm alive. I'm the shit. Iron Man 2 was even worse. He's dropping down. What's up, everybody? I'm Iron Man. Stark Expo. Blah, blah, blah. Women love me.
Iron Man 2, that was like the entire theme of the
exactly.
entire movie.
Then you have him realizing, oh, snap. It wasn't just my father. It was also Ivan Vanko's father who was part of this. Now, do I rethink my entire childhood? Like, do I deserve this? And then he comes to the conclusion, I'm going to still be Iron Man, I'm going to be cool, yada yada. Iron Man 3 hits. Now he's stressed. He's going through Avengers 1.
And just Avengers 1.
Yeah. Well, he's going through Avengers 1, and he's going through the issue of trying to remove this from himself. He's struggling with the idea that he's addicted to protecting the world. So he's just constantly working. He's making no time for his life. It's almost the Reed Richards scenario with the Invisible Woman. How Reed is so caught up in his work, he forgets he has a wife. He forgets he has a life.
Technically,
and she left him for that.
She disappears.
Yes, she ends up leaving him for that. That's funny. You meant going invisible and stuff. But you know that happens when you go through the stuff that these guys have gone through. But I think Tony's character development is still going. I think this movie is going to hit that very hard.
See, I think Avengers, like, the Infinity War is, like, the peak. Like, this is it. Avengers 4 is going to be everything, like...
Everything on the other side of the door. Everyone, like, all the first, like, phase, what is this, phase 3?
Yeah.
All the first half of phase 3 going up to this, actually all of phase 3 going up to this because everything else is phase 4.
I can't believe we're in phase 3.
No, we're in phase 4 now.
We're in phase 4. We're in phase 4.
So, with everything leading up to phase 3, it's everyone getting to their maturity. The end of phase 3 with Thanos waking everybody the fuck up. Everyone's gonna change. Everyone changes now because they have to change. There is no more childishness.
Like, I mean, it's their first big loss.
Their
first loss as a whole. They
lost. Don't get into it. They lost.
They
lost hard.
Took a massive L. Like the biggest L you could take, honestly.
But
honestly, the only reason they're not just completely dead because that wasn't Thanos' plan to be
true.
True. If it wasn't so planned, they would have.
Which is why you make the argument of is he a villain or whatever. So I can definitely see that. Now, was that your biggest thing?
What?
The comedy aspect of it.
That
do you not have like a biggest scene or anything that you love the most? That doesn't have anything to do with the end or the beginning because we've already gone over that a lot.
Yeah, the end and the beginning, of course. I was a big fan of the Rocket Thor scene.
Okay.
He's like, I gotta be Captain. Then he talks about it, and he's like, I gotta lose, like me personally.
I
thought that was funny too.
That was actually a good scene.
That was also foreshadowing for me.
Exactly.
Because
he lost everything.
In hindsight, you're like,
ooh,
he lost everything.
Like everything, he was like, I've got a lot to lose. He lost it.
But like,
I'd say that was right up there with he might be your father, but I'm your daddy. Right. That's where that hit me.
Yeah,
like, that's where that hit me.
When did Rocket Raccoon become the main character of Guardians of the Galaxy?
For real, like.
Well, he is the best. He's actually very, very popular. Like people like him more than they like Star-Lord.
Fucking Raccoon.
It's like this.
Star-Lord now.
It's like this, and honestly, Groot jumped up too with the movies and Baby Groot and stuff.
What do you consider the end?
The end when he snaps his fingers and destroys everything.
The scene where like Thanos like started like going in, I was like. Oh my God.
Oh, when he gets to Wakanda?
No.
And then
when he was that scene is crazy.
We were snapping out on everybody.
Oh.
He's like, give me a time. I said, like, give me that shit.
Where they get the goal and then he brings it right back, and then he brings
it back, and I was like,
everyone.
And then he starts using it, like, does that entire shit, like, he pulls the meteors down.
Yeah,
like,
he cracked like the pieces of the moon.
All the rub, like,
I knew he was gonna do something like that.
All the rubble and the bats, and I was like, that's so.
I came to the conclusion that he didn't throw the entire moon.
Well, no.
Because it would have destroyed Titan.
He just broke into pieces of the moon and then started pulling the moon down.
Because he honestly doesn't need to do that.
Yeah, it would be almost like disadvantageous to him because he's like, oh, I have a moon.
And then that could also fracture the universe by colliding planets against each other. But okay, so is that your biggest scene?
Fracture the universe.
Well, apparently that's like a big thing. Well, not fracture it, but like a piece of it, like a fracture of the universe. Like if the universe is here, he does that, and now this is fucked up. So it's gonna have a ripple effect.
It's like Marvel.
Marvel
science here.
That's what Marvel does.
The only reason that wouldn't happen is neither of those are planets, so they're both
celestial bodies.
They're both incredibly tiny.
Well, hey man, I figured he didn't want to destroy Titan.
And I agree with you. That's his whole
because let's be honest, whether they're moons or not, crashing that moon into Titan would have destroyed Titan.
Well, it would have just. Like, it would have been
crashing the moon into Earth would destroy Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And Earth is projected to be bigger than Titan.
Plus, you know,
okay.
Well, Earth is bigger than Titan. Titan is a real moon of Saturn, I believe.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I
knew that for Saturn.
Yeah, it is that moon.
I was completely
unaware. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, in the comics.
I didn't realize Thanos was born in our solar system. What the hell?
Because it's not part of the same. Oh, you're talking about like a different. If we're here in the universe, he's all the way over here.
Yeah, I thought he was just in a different galaxy or something.
No,
it's all actually relatively close, believe it or not.
That's the problem.
Relatively close.
Who's not really close to like the Skrulls or like the Kree Empire?
The Kree, that's
they're like their cousins that you don't like coming to holidays. They assholes.
But
so is that what you're gonna go with, or do you have something else?
The scene with Red Skull really had my jaw hit the floor there because I wasn't expecting Red Skull.
I don't think anybody.
I thought Red Skull was just one and done.
Yeah, I thought it was.
He got sucked into the Tesseract, though, right? He just got sucked into
Space Jam.
Well, what people one thing that actually
yeah.
Another conversation me and Patient had was that we think and I think Bonsai and Jam might have been part of this too. I don't know if we've talked about it or not, but we had like a small discussion on what if inside every gem is the same universe, which is why when he went to go get the Soul Stone, he saw Red Skull, because even though Red Skull was one with the Cosmic Cube being the Space Stone, it all sent him to the same, Stone universe.
Okay.
So that's why he's in the Soul Stone, because he's like, I'm the avatar of the Soul Stone. Like, yeah, I touched this, but it sent me to the Soul Plane.
Yeah.
Because that's the only one that has a plane.
Yeah, technically, the Soul Plane is. Yeah. The Soul Stone is the only one that has its own unit
that was a really good one. That I was like, okay, I can see that. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Like, he touched the Space Stone, why is he in the Soul Stone? You know what I mean?
It just should be on your fucking pinky ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, essentially. So that's good.
They're honestly the whole movie. Like,
the whole movie.
It's so hard to break it into pieces because the entire package is so good.
It's such a
solid movie.
Like, honestly, I'm gonna say it right now. It's by far my favorite MCU movie.
Oh,
no doubt.
It's one of my favorite movies to ever come out.
I'm also biased because I love Thanos.
Yeah,
right.
But
this
movie was
I made it very clear to all of you guys back in our Infinity War predictions that Jamshake is the biggest Thanos fan I know. So if you guys know, want any questions, at Jamshake. What does Thanos do about this? What's Thanos do with this? Blah 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 blah. So whatever you want to know, he's the man.
Just oh my god, it was so good. It was really good. It was fucking.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite. Thanos is my favorite villain. That's
I like that.
I could have told you that before the movie was on. Because he could have been some bitch nigga I still like him.
He could have been like, oh no. And
if he came in here and he's the one that got super rocked by the Hulk, and then, and then he was KO'd by Star-Lord when he was like he was really out.
He was just whipped him. I'm like, I still love you.
All right. Well, now Mick Whoopi, if you could pick one scene in the movie, or one part of the movie, what would your favorite part be? It cannot be the beginning, it cannot be the end. We focused a lot on those two. Let's try to stray away from that. Let's pick your brain a little bit.
Alright, I'd have to say, my favorite part would probably be when Drax and, Drax, Star-Lord, and Mantis were infiltrating, the Collector's thing to try to, to try to get Gamora from
the Reality Stone.
Or no, Gamora was with them.
Yeah.
To try to get the Reality Stone before he got
it.
And then they you know, you have the scene where Thanos is interrogating the Collector, and then obviously we all seen the movie. It turns out it just fades away. And even the Collector was fake, which is why I'm saying just make another Gamora. What you crying for?
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
But